This is one of my favorite hikes in the Southern California area, San Gabriel Mountains, Angeles National Forest. We'll be summiting Mount Pacifico today. You can see the summit there. We'll be taking mainly Pacific Crest Trail. There's the PCT there. We'll be headed south on PCT. We'll be hiking about 13.7 miles today, climbing about 2,200 feet of elevation gain. You start here from the Mill Creek Picnic Area parking lot in the Angeles National Forest. The key component here is you are required to have an adventure pass to park here. This parking spot has a bathroom, so Angeles National Forest permits are required. It's about $5 for a daily pass and $30 for a yearly pass. So let's go. Let's get started. Half mile into the hike, headed south on Pacific Crest Trail. It's a beautiful day. It's about 60 degrees, early April. It's a Monday, so we haven't seen any other hikers yet, either section hikers, day hikers, or Pacific Crest Trail through hikers. We're expecting we might start seeing some through hikers today. It is early in the season for this area, but we expect to see a couple. We hope to see a couple. Still headed this way. Let's go. 1.5 miles in. A lot of evergreen chaparral here. Beautiful Pacific Crest Trail single track. At this point, you can see a lot of signs of fire damage. I want to say 10 to 15 years ago, there was a major fire that ripped through here, as well as Mount Gleason. Unfortunately, tragically, there were 2 firefighters who were lost fighting the fire. Rest in peace to them. 1.8 miles in, there's a nice lush vegetation section here. You can see it there, pretty pleasant to walk through. Here's our first edible plant sighting, at least to my knowledge. This is what is called miner's lettuce. It got its name miner's lettuce because miners back in the day would eat this plant to get some vitamin C into their diet. Kind of cool. Still headed this way. 2 miles into the hike, you get your best view thus far. There will be better views later on, but this view is pretty nice. Down there is the small town of Acton, California. You can see Highway 14 there. You can also see right down here, this is Angeles Forest Highway. That's where we started, right at that Mill Creek picnic area. We've climbed about 600 feet thus far. Climbing will be pretty steady, about 300 feet per mile until we get to the summit. Let's go. 5 miles in, and we got our first, what appears to be a through hiker. Early in the season for through hikers, but pretty cool, man. We love seeing through hikers. Some of the nicest people in the world. Definitely adventurous, cool people. And look at this view. Awesome day, man. Came from here. Headed this way. About to see the PCT hiker. We just spoke to the Pacific Crest Trail through hiker. He was from Kansas. Very nice guy. We didn't want to put his face on camera just out of respect for his privacy. I'm sure he would have been fine with it. Just not something we like to do. He's very good spirits, seemed healthy, seemed able, seemed fit. He said his bubble is very small, includes about 4 hikers that are going about his pace. He said he started on March 6th. Maybe March 10th. It is now April 6th, so he's making good. Just under 3.5 miles in, and you start getting your first views of the Antelope Valley. There it is there. Lancaster, Palmdale, Edwards Air Force Base, Little Rock, Lake Los Angeles, all down this area. Excellent view. About halfway to the summit, a little less. Now, just under 4 miles in. At this point, the trail splinters in a few directions. You could see you could potentially go this way, this way. Normally in the PCT, they'll use logs to indicate which way to go, and this is pretty clear. We just go this way. There's a PCT sign there, but it doesn't have any labeling. Came from this way. Pretty hard to miss. But I guess 4 miles in, first electrolyte break of the day. We've been going Powerade Grape a lot lately. At this point, we're about 6,000 feet in elevation, and we start leaving the desert climate and start seeing some pine trees. Nice little change, a little more shaded. Weather's pretty good today. It's about 70, 75 degrees at the moment. Still nice to feel some shade. It's a beautiful day, beautiful area. 4.7 miles in. From mile 4 to 5, it is relatively flat. You can see along this ridge line here, there's the trail. You just kind of cruise along this ridge line. A little bit of undulation, a little ups, a little downs, but mostly flat. Very peaceful, very pleasant hike. All you can hear are your own thoughts and the birds chirping. Just under 5.5 miles in, headed this way, south on PCT. Just a very peaceful section, surrounded by woods. Hear birds chirping again. We can hear a woodpecker right now. I truly just love it up here. It's an amazing place to unwind. This is a very cool plant, pretty unique. I've only personally seen this plant in this section of the Pacific Crest Trail on the way up to Mount Pacifico. Every year in March and April, I do this hike and I look this plant up, and you can easily find out what it is on Google Lens or Google. And I always forget what it's called. I'll look it up again when I get home, but really cool. Headed this way on PCT. At exactly 5.6 miles, you'll encounter the most confusing part of the hike directionally. You'll see this sign here, Pacific Crest Trail, National Scenic Trail. That'll direct you to go this way, right down here. This is where we're gonna head off Pacific Crest Trail. We're gonna head up this way on this fire road. This will take us out to Pacifico. There's no sign for Pacifico here, so you just gotta be a little careful. Guess it's pretty easy to miss. Just after that 5.6 mile turn, you're on this fire road here. Then you get an expansive view of the western San Gabriel Mountains. Pretty amazing. Got about 1.5 miles, 1.25 miles on this fire road, and we'll be on top of Mount Pacifico. Let's go. Very close to stepping on what appears to be a baby snake. I'm guessing this is a king snake. The wild thing is when I nearly stepped on it, it coiled up and got in a striking pose. I'm not sure if this snake is venomous or not. Of course, I know the rattlers are venomous, but beautiful snake. Definitely a baby. I mean, maybe adolescent age. Now it's just slithering right on by me. This is a coulter pinecone here, which is the largest pinecone species in the world. I'll try to give it some scale here. I'll throw my size 9 ultras in the shot. So this is a men's size 9 shoe, pretty big pinecone. Not the largest coulter pinecone I've seen, but a pretty large one. I'm wondering which of these trees is the coulter. I'm not an expert, but I am sure that this is a coulter pinecone. We're about 6.1 miles in, still on the fire road. Here is a coulter pinecone on the tree here. So we just saw one off the tree. That is for sure a coulter. Looks like it's got quite a bit of sap on it. So I guess there's a lot of coulters up here. Makes sense. Let's go. Such a cool day today. 6.6 miles in, Mount Pacifico Campground. In order to get to the actual summit, you're going to take a left here on this fire road. First, we're going to go right and get a great shot of the eastern San Gabriel Mountains. Another thing I will say is this campground is fantastic for beginner backpackers. I always recommend in the San Gabriels, for your beginning backpacking trip, go to Little Jimmy. And for your second backpacking trip, if you like Little Jimmy, come right here to Mount Pacifico. Here's another shot of Mount Pacifico Campground. You got several campsites there. You have some bear protected trash cans there, a pit toilet, more campsites here. There are no bear boxes here. What I do when I camp here is I bring a bear can or a bear sack and I hang from these trees there. I've never had an issue with bears getting my food up here. This is right past Mount Pacifico Campground. This is the eastern San Gabriel Mountains. You can see the Antelope Valley down there. Just an amazing shot at the Antelope Valley, Lancaster, Palmdale, Edwards Air Force Base. Beautiful spot here. It's normally pretty windy up here, but today, primo, just a gentle breeze. So peaceful. I can't think of many better spots in the San Gabes than this right here. The actual summit we're going to hit in a second right through here. We're going to see the western San Gabes right there. So what I do to get to the actual summit is come to this campsite 6 in Mount Pacifico Campground and just do a little scramble up to this little rock formation here. Up here, you're going to get a great view of the western San Gabriel Mountains. I'm not sure if there's an actual trail, but it's a pretty brief scramble anyways. And we'll be up there in a moment. And at last, we have made it to the summit, Mount Pacifico, 6.75 miles, 2,200 feet of elevation gain. I believe this is a shot of Mount Wilson in the western San Gabriel Mountains. This is the first time I've seen this, though. There is a plaque up here. It looks pretty new. Pacifico Mountain plaque. It looks to be bolted into the ground. That's kind of cool. So just a little bit of rock scrambling here, and you find this sign. Thanks for watching. Man, what an amazing day. Very, very underrated hike. Bonus clip, we're back at the Mill Creek picnic area. One thing I forgot to mention is this is an out and back hike. So once you get to the summit, you just follow your footsteps. You'll get to this 13.5 miles total. We came from this way. Another thing I forgot to mention is Pacifico summit is about 7,000 feet, give or take, total elevation. I did see a hiker on the way down, and he said that he believes the snake was a venomous coral snake. So I'll look into that, and I'll update in the description below. Also, I'll update what that pinkish flower was in the description. I'll just look that up and put what that is in the description below. So thanks again for watching. A lot of traffic here at the moment. Guess it's rush hour. Let's go.